It's prediction day on PHNX Sun Devils. Biggest game of the season, most important game of the season. Who's the team MVP? Who loves beans the most? We're breaking it all down right after this.
You ever wonder why he sounds like that?
All the time. Also, I love beans the most. Happy Friday and welcome into the PHNX Sun Devils show presented by Branded Bills. Make sure you head to brandedbills.com and use code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order. I'm Anthony Totri, joined as always by the one, the only Bean Boy, Erik.
Yes.
Ruby. That's Erik with a K. Of course, we got the deli man behind
Dr.
the Mac
Legume.
and making all of the magic happen. Em is here. One more sleep until we are back. That's right. Week 0 starts tomorrow with college football returning. It's going to be a blast. Do us a solid. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Parker in the chat. Happy Friday to Sun Devil fans and Sun Devil fans only. Rubus,
Yes.
before we get into the most anticipated show of the year, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
You're good.
I like the new nickname,
The Bean Boy?
the Bean Boy.
We've got the Deli Man and the Bean
Dude,
Boy.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not letting that happen. We're not doing that.
Bean Boy?
Oh, so we can take that stupid thing I said yesterday about Ghost Rouser, turn that into a thing. But this is where
What
we
was
draw
it
the
exactly?
line. I'm not saying it anymore
Yeah.
because I'm putting an end to that.
You're putting it in.
I'm putting an end
Bean
to that.
Boy is putting his foot down.
You know, a lot of times people are like, "Oh man, if people could hear us before the show," and blah, blah. This is the show that you get to hear the most of that. Like 90% of the time, the stupid things that we say right at the start of the show is just
They
a
make it here.
continuation
Yeah,
of
they
the
make it.
conversation
They make it.
from before. Because we were debating who loves beans the most
Yeah.
between the three of us.
And you were the least.
I am not at the bottom of the totem pole.
You
Yeah,
are. You are.
No.
You're bottom bean.
I am not bottom
You're
bean.
bottom bean.
No, Dr. Legume, I am not.
Oh, my goodness.
This is your leading Arizona State podcast.
Look, college football returns tomorrow. A lot of great games. I mean, the best game of the day starting with Kansas State and Iowa State hitting the field in Ireland. That should be a good one. Before we get into our Arizona State predictions, record, bold predictions, team MVPs, biggest games of the year.
Who loves beans the most?
Who loves beans the most? Before hot or not, I want to know who you guys think wins that first game tomorrow.
I think
Is
Iowa
it Kansas
State.
State or is it Iowa State?
Iowa State wins.
You think Iowa State wins?
And your reaction is exactly why. I think people might be sleeping a little bit on them because I know that they lost some talent for sure, but they're extremely well coached. I think Rocco Beck takes a step this year, and I think they got something to prove. I mean, you think about it's like, oh man, Arizona State, the end of their season was heartbreaking, and it absolutely was.
Yeah.
You want to know what's worse than that?
Being Iowa State?
Being just completely dog walked in the
Yeah.
Big 12 championship, right? And Iowa State, I'm pretty sure were they the favorite? No, Arizona State was
Arizona
the favorite in that
State
game.
was the favorite in that game.
But Arizona State completely destroyed them to like epic proportions, right? And not only that, but it's like people are talking about Kansas State
Yeah.
as that second best team. Oh, Baylor. What about TCU? Like, I just kind of feel like Iowa State's been pushed to the side a little bit. And I think they're going to have a point to prove.
I mean, I agree with you. I think they do have a lot to prove tomorrow. A lot on the line for them to really show, I think, going into the year that, hey, like, just because we lost our 2,000-yard wide receivers doesn't mean that we are just going to be a team that kind of falls to the back of the pack here in this conference. We do have Rocco Beck back for a third year. We do have our head coach returning off of, one of, if not the best season in program history. With all that said, I still think Kansas State wins that game tomorrow. I think it is going to be a close game. I think this is ultimately going to be a 3 or 4 point ball game, but I think Avery Johnson and company, they do enough to get the job done against an Iowa State team that, in all honesty, is worse on paper than they were a year ago. Deli Man, what do you think? Who comes out on top tomorrow?
I think Eric's right. I think people are really sleeping on Iowa State. There's a reason why that program has had success, and it's because of the people that aren't on the field. And they got a lot of people that are on the field back. I know they lost their 2 starting wide receivers, but I believe in their replacements, and I believe in that offense as a whole still. That being said, I think people have completely forgot how good Avery Johnson was before the injury.
Yeah.
Like, I think Kansas State has a real chance to run away with that game, and we could be talking about a completely different Big 12 landscape if Avery Johnson looks like the guy everyone thought he was going to be last year.
Yeah.
Compiled on another year leap with being healthy. I mean, we could be talking about a Kansas State team that jumps in the odds right next to where ASU is.
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a game. Number 17 in the country going up against number 22 in the country. Let us know in the chat who you think comes out on top. Parker says Iowa State. Rubus and the Deli Man, they're both back in the Cyclones. I am the lone wolf here, taking Avery Johnson and Kansas State. You're taking Kansas State too?
Yeah.
Okay,
I said there's a real way Kansas State runs away with that game.
Okay.
What's the line on that right now?
Real Bean Boy backs Iowa State.
I think the 3.5 is what the line is.
Kansas State's favored by 3.
Yeah.
M says, who should we want to win? Iowa State, right? Since we play them and have some sense of control there.
It's too early.
It's too early to tell.
It is important, though. Like, it's a Big 12 game.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
Two teams that will
whoever loses this game in reality probably can only lose one other Big 12 game.
Yeah, it's
if
like
they want to make the Big 12 championship game.
This is a really big game. Like, not for like Arizona State specifically, but like
for the
if
conference.
we're talking the conference, and if like the top 4, I think those are 2 teams that are going to be vying to be in the top 4. Whoever loses and whoever wins, like, you're starting week 0, and that might be like Iowa State might not be as good as it could be in week 11, but if they pick up another early loss at that point, it's like you're playing from behind, and you're going to need somebody else to take a step back in order to get back to where you lost last year, which was the Big 12 championship. Like, this is a really, really big game. Even if it doesn't directly impact Arizona State, like there's a lot on the line for the first game of college football this season.
Yeah, Kansas also plays tomorrow, so it'll be kind of fun to see if Jalen Daniels is the Jalen Daniels that everybody thought he was going to be, or if he's going to be the Jalen Daniels from the first 4 or 5 games of the year.
It is tomorrow, huh?
It is tomorrow.
I just realized that.
Yeah. You get Jalen Daniels against, I want to say Fresno State.
Against ASU light.
Against the house that Jalen Moss built.
Yeah. UNLV will play, I don't know at what time they play tomorrow, but yeah, you'll get to see Troy O'Meara, LaTerrence Welch.
You think UNLV is going to wear maroon and gold?
They might as well. Like, at this point, they are ASU junior. Like, we'll see.
The junior Sun Devils.
The junior Sun Devils. But enough about the junior Sun Devils and everybody else in the Big 12.
Fresno State to Tempe.
Yeah. Let's talk about
that's the reverse.
Tempe to Reno.
The actual Arizona State Sun Devils. Again, our season preview show. We're just going to dive straight into it. We're going to save our record predictions for the tail end of today's show. But as we go through our MVPs, the biggest games of the year, the biggest blowouts of the year, definitely drop your answers in the chat as well if you're watching live. If you are listening on audio after the fact, and just scream it into the ether. Don't just say it.
That's what I'm saying.
I want you to scream it into the ether.
I don't care if you're around people who are sleeping. I don't care if you're on public transportation. I don't care if you're at the gym.
Yeah. Don't stop running.
If anybody gives you a weird look, just be like, don't worry. Anthony Totri told me to do it. And they'll understand.
Yeah, they'll
keep running.
Yeah, they may give you $1, honestly, after that. Yeah, give it a shot.
Get yourself something nice. We know you need it.
Oh, man. Well, without...
Sam Leavitt!
You just called Totri poor or chat poor?
No, I'm just saying, if you're screaming out random names in public, people are like, hey, here's $1. It's like, you're obviously going through something.
You're a little crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's valid.
Okay.
Jordyn Tyson!
Yeah.
Fill it up, parents!
Let's get straight into our offensive MVP predictions for the Arizona State 2025 season. Rubus, let's start with you here. Sam Leavitt, QB1, is going to be your offensive MVP. The only one of the 3 of us that says Leavitt is going to win that award.
I think it's so close. And there's another award here that, again, I think that either Jordyn Tyson or Sam Leavitt could go for.
Is this Totri's game that we're doing right now?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to make fun of the Totri game.
Okay, you can make fun of the Totri game.
So MVP, because there's fast forward.
Spoiler.
There's an overall MVP.
Yeah.
So those can't be the same, right?
I mean, in theory, they could be. You could have, in like the NFL, you have an offensive player of the year, a defensive player of the year, and an MVP.
Yeah, but none of us did that.
Usually it's not the same person.
Usually it's not the same.
Okay.
So Obviously, I picked between two people
game.
for either of those.
You're
for
a
the
stupid
game. I picked Sam Leavitt, and I think what the tiebreaker here was for me is that I think that maybe overall some people are sleeping on how much Sam's going to be able to do in the run game. I know it's not going to be like direct play calls for him to run all the time, but I do think that he's somebody who, not his first instinct, but maybe like his 1.5 instinct, like not his second instinct. It's like, I'm just going to run if I have it, because he has all the physical tools to do it. He's elusive, and he's a little psychotic. Like I remember back to last season, you sitting on this program, literally just screaming and begging him to slide, right? And obviously that cost him a game in the middle of the season with his rib injury. But I think that how prolific he's going to be on the ground is what broke like the proverbial tie between him and Jordyn Tyson is for me, because I think that he has a chance to break records through the air, but as far as all-purpose yards go and through the ground, and especially I think red zone threat on the ground as well, when you have so many different options and people looking at it, like I think he's going to put up some just absolutely insane numbers. So I'm going offensive MVP Sam Leavitt.
What do you think, Shane? You obviously have the opposite here. You have Jordyn Tyson along with myself.
Yeah. I chose this because I think between these two players, these are the two best players in Arizona State's roster.
Yeah.
Like you can argue Xavion Alford because of what he does off the field, but I think talent-wise, like it's pretty clear. The most two important, at least.
Yeah.
And so the MVP and the offensive MVP are between these two. And so how I'm viewing this is my runner-up to
Your
best
MVP.
player on the team, or most important player on the team. So I don't know, but if you're talking about from a pure skill offensive perspective, the things that Jordyn Tyson brings and nobody else can do it in the country, because yes, Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams and all of these sexy wide receivers that go for however many yards they're going to go for this year can do that, but he is the best blocking wide receiver out of the elites, and it's not close.
Yeah.
So that's the deal breaker for me. Like he's going to be such an integral part of this team, because that they're not going to abandon the run this year because Cam Scadaboo's not there. Like, that's not going to happen, and he's going to be a big part of that.
I think it's an interesting point you bring up that he's one of the most elite blocking wide receivers, if not the most elite blocking wide receiver in college football going into this season. I think the reason that I chose Jordyn Tyson over Sam Leavitt to be the offensive MVP for me is I know there's a lot more weapons at Sam Leavitt's disposal this year, but I do think there is going to be games where some of these defenses maybe stifle Arizona State's offense and Sam Leavitt to the point where, hey, like, doesn't matter. Everybody knows where the ball is going, right? It's going to go to zero. It's going to go to Jordyn Tyson, and they're just not going to be able to do anything about it. I think there's a real chance that there are several games this year where we're talking about Jordyn Tyson having double-digit receptions, easily over the century mark in terms of receiving yards, and maybe a couple of touchdowns, which for me, I think it's going to be those takeover moments, those specific games that ultimately give Jordyn Tyson the nod for the offensive MVP on my end. But again, and it's something that we'll talk about a little bit later on, like if Jordyn Tyson is performing, then the expectation is obviously that Sam Leavitt is putting up pretty ridiculous numbers too. So it does make it a little bit of a challenge for Jordyn Tyson to kind of win some of these awards when you do have a wide receiver and a quarterback.
Well, and when we have this offensive MVP, team MVP thing, and I don't know if we want to like switch it up a bit and just go into team MVP since we're already like talking about that, or if you want to hit defense first, because to me, it's like my arguments are the same and your guys' arguments are the same. I feel like for each thing, it's just, what do you categorize it as? These are the two best players in ASU. ASU's success will be determined by its depth, by its coaching, by how good everybody is, but its ceiling is going to be determined by these two.
Yeah.
Is Sam Leavitt a Heisman candidate? Is he a Heisman winner? That's going to determine your ceiling. That's going to determine, are you going to be competing for a national championship? Is Jordyn Tyson a Blitnikoff candidate? Is he a Blitnikoff winner when Jeremiah Smith is universally regarded as the best player in college football, right? That's going to determine your ceiling. Are you a top 10 team? Are you a top 5 team in the country, right? That, of course, all comes on depth and the defense and all the other weapons and everything like that too. But at the end of the day, if your two best players don't surpass their own expectations, don't reach these heights that we put on them, if one is not the team MVP and the other is not the offensive MVP, then this team is not going to be as good as they can be.
Yeah.
Right? So it's at the end of the day, the arguments that we're going to make are the same. I think it's just we're putting them in different categories, which is fine. I don't think that there's a wrong answer for offensive MVP or team MVP. And honestly, maybe team MVP ends up being somebody else. Maybe somebody is so dominant on the defense, whether it's X or whether it's CJ, right? Or maybe it's another wild card or somebody who ends up being on an All-America team. Like, that's how much talent is on this team, but you're sitting here on August 22nd. It's going to be one of those two. It's always going to be one of those two.
It should be. Parker in the chat saying, just to be different, Kyson Brown. M saying, I'll one-up you, Parker. Jaren Hamilton as their offensive MVPs. I think either one of those players, they've got supreme talent, but to be able to overcome, again, the early expectation that Jordyn Tyson and Sam Leavitt are going to be the best players on this roster, not just the offense. Jaren Hamilton and Kyson Brown would have to do some ridiculous things to, at the end of the year, be in the discussion as offensive MVP. I do like the being different here, though. I like the idea that, hey, maybe Jaren Hamilton just pops off and does something that nobody expects and goes for like 1,200 yards. That would be crazy. Again, saying this Friday, August 22nd, when you've got 8 days until the first game of the season.
Well, let's be different for a second then.
Let's
do an award that isn't on here on the stupid game.
Okay.
Let's do
so mean.
Like most surprising breakout player. Like who
most surprising breakout player.
I mean, does Kanye count?
No.
Okay. Because
offense or defense?
You're like biggest
I've
transfer.
been surprised by Kanye quite a bit over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But
saying Kanye.
Okay, if he does Kyson not count then either?
I mean,
because it's like, where are we determining those two? If Kyson Brown is your pseudo RB1 right now,
I would say surprise. So like somebody that we're not talking
Malik
about.
McClain.
So okay, sure,
okay, then
sure.
yeah, that counts.
Like
Malik McClain's my
Jaren
guy.
Hamilton would be one.
Yeah, I think it could be a surprise.
For
I mean,
sure.
anybody not in the running back room and anybody not Sam Leavitt or Jordyn Tyson.
Well, I think really Brown
surprise.
could be one too. Like if he overtakes that completely dominant role.
Yeah, that would be surprising. I think my answer is Kamari Anderson.
Yeah,
you
love Kamari. I can't believe you didn't draft him. That's so
you not
crazy.
drafting Kamari is crazy.
He's just had a phenomenal camp, and he's somebody that, like, when you think of this tight end room, he's somebody that kind of gets glossed over because you have Shaman and you have AJ. But Kamari is a perfect complement to this offense and to what Shaman and Harpool and AJ are in this room, to the point where, like, I'm out at practice and Kamari is just always open, dude. Like, he is always in the right spot at the right time. And that is so valuable when you get to, midfield and it's 3rd and 5 and you need a big first down, like the way that Shaman was a security blanket last year. I think Kamari can be that security blanket as well. But I think something that he has that Shaman doesn't necessarily have to this level is like, I think Kamari has like real speed to
it's
the point
yak
where
ability.
It is, like he can run away from DBs and linebackers, which is something that I have kind of yet to see Shaman do on a consistent basis.
And you because I keep hearing that, but I never saw that at Kentucky with his highlights.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's like he didn't really get the opportunity to show that a ton.
Sure, but like that I'm not saying Totri's lying. I'm saying that'd
be crazy if I'm just making it up.
What I'm saying is like
sucks.
that's something that no one is expecting on this team. Like no one has talked about Kamari Anderson's speed. Yeah. Except for Totri, and that gets me excited for somebody that's been at practice every day. Having a tight end with, because if you look at what it is right now, Shimon Mateo is a stereotypical tight end. Like he does everything good.
Yeah.
He was all Big 12 for a reason last year. AJ is what we assume to be an absolute freak of nature. Like that he's in his own world. You have Cameron Harpool, who's going to put his hands on you and not let go, and he's one of the best blocking tight ends in the Big 12. The having a speed guy and a receiving tight end would unlock something completely different.
Especially when we're talking about a team that will run 13 personnel a good chunk, like in the red zone, 13 personnel on short yardage situations.
13 personnel on 1st and 10 off the 25, or after. Sorry, I don't want to say that they get the ball in the 25 because we said they're not going to do that on the first kickoff. When they have the ball on the 37-yard line after a good return from Malik Brown against NAU.
Well, and it sets you up in a position where, like, if someone's in 13 personnel, I don't care what the tight ends look like out there, like you have to play the run, right? Especially when you have a guy in Kanye Udo in the backfield that is a bigger running back. Like, you're gonna have to play the run there. And then you're telling me there's situations where we're running play action and we have Kamari Anderson up the seam or on a wheel route. Like, he's somebody that can run away from you. I think if we have a breakout player for me, it's got to be Kamari offensively.
And I think with like Shaman, it's like if it's one play to like win the game and you need 3 to 5 yards, like I'm putting Shaman.
Oh yeah, I'll take
but
Shaman.
if you want somebody to catch you by surprise, put it like Kamari. Right. And I think just it's the same thing with the wide receiver positional breakdown that we put out on our channel earlier. Make sure you check that out if you haven't. We've been doing all those positional breakdown videos. But it's like the wide receiver room has so many different styles of weapons and different types of players that can make an impact. The tight end room's the same, right? Like AJE is going to be your guy, if he does play, if he doesn't redshirt, to be, go high point the ball. Right? Like shout out Jalen. But to go get the ball, reach it at its peak, and catch it over somebody. I think that's going to be AJ, right? To be your speed guy, to pull off a big chunk highlight when you need it, that's going to be Kamari. And then your every down security blanket's Shaman. And then Cameron Harpole's going to kill somebody. Yeah. But like that's it.
If AJ redshirts,
second day in a row, Arizona State's got just
two murders.
Nasty.
Yeah. If AJ redshirts, so am I.
You're redshirting?
You're redshirting from the show?
Okay.
Saving a year eligibility?
From my fandom at ASU. I'm
going to take a year off?
Yeah, I'm going to take the year off.
Wow, that's tough. Well, I guess he's not, even if you're redshirting, you're not taking the year off. You're still working. You're just not playing.
I don't want it, though.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Tell Kenny.
We do have a couple other MVP awards to give out on the other side of the ball for a defensive MVP and then a team MVP as well. But based on time, we should go ahead and hit a quick break. Just 8 days till Arizona State kicks off that 2025 college football season. The same can pretty much be said for the Arizona Cardinals, who play their first game of the year in just a few short weeks. So if you're an Arizona sports fan, you're going to need some new merch to go into this 2025 sports season. And look no further than Rally House, the go-to spot to shop for all your favorite local Arizona team gear with tens of thousands of products to shop from, literally tens of thousands. If you go to their website, you type in Arizona Cardinals or you type in Arizona State like I did just the other day, we're talking over 100 pages worth of Arizona State Sun Devil merch, of like little tables, of memorabilia, of hats. They have so much to offer over at Rally House. They carry only local Arizona sports teams as well. So make sure you get your Cardinals, your Sun Devils, your Diamondbacks, your Suns, any merch you need. Find your local Rally House location and shop their entire product assortment online at rallyhouse.com today.
I was reminiscing with the Deli Man the other day about when we had Graham Rossini on last year, and we were drafting inventions. And of course, the invention of air conditioning came up and was a high draft pick because it is one of the greatest things that has ever been
really is
invented. And that's why APS is so important, because they know that in Arizona, you're always looking for ways to stay cool and comfortable. But a lot of the times when you're trying to be cool and comfortable, that comes with a not so comfortable wallet. And that is why APS is here with not only a time of use plan, but also a smart thermostat where you can take advantage of those lower cost off-peak hours, but you could do it from anywhere. Right now, I could pull out my phone and I could adjust my thermostat if I didn't remember to adjust it before I left my home, which I did. But if I didn't, APS has me covered. And APS customers may be eligible for smart thermostats for as low as $0 when you enroll in the APS Cool Rewards program. And if you already have a smart thermostat at home like we do, see if it's eligible to enroll in Cool Rewards, plus free installs available at the link in our video description. You must be an APS customer, pay shipping and taxes. Other restrictions apply. Go to marketplace.aps.com for more information. Super excited about something that we got going on next week.
Next
Thursday at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, Wild Horse Pass. It's the PHNX Cardinals residency with diehards at the Upper Deck Bar and Grill at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Wild Horse Pass. Starting it off with the Cardinals live pod at 4:30, followed by an NFL season preview at 6 p.m. Cards are saying that's going to be a town hall. They're going to be taking questions from people in the audience. And then it's the PHNX staff fantasy football draft starting at 7 o'clock. All diehards who attend will receive a free drink ticket for the event. And if you want a discounted room at Gila for the night, call 1-800-WIN-GILA. Use cards FF for 25% off a room for Thursday night. So come hang out with us. Come talk with us. Talk football, talk life, fantasy, whatever it is. And then have some fun. Stay the night at Gila. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. And we will be doing us as well.
Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Let's go ahead, kick it to the other side of the ball, to the defensive MVP. Shane and Erik both have Xavion Alford. I do have CJ Fite here. I'll give my explanation before these two tell you why they chose the 100-yard landlord. Look, I love Xavion Alford as a player. I think he is certainly the most talented defensive player on this roster. But when we talk about defensive MVP, I'm talking about somebody that I think can be an absolute game wrecker for Arizona State this season. I think CJ Fite, we've been talking about it over this past week, in all honesty, about somebody that can improve his draft stock potentially to being a second round, maybe third round defensive tackle at the NFL level. And I think CJ Fite has the talent this year, going into his third year in the system, to really be a force, somebody that opposing offenses have to game plan for. Considering this is going to be a pretty pass-heavy conference, I think CJ Fite's sack numbers are going to go up, and then he is still a force for this ASU defense when it comes to the run game. I got CJ Fite as my defensive MVP here.
I mean, I agree with everything that you said about CJ Fite, but it's so close. It's the same thing with like Jordyn Tyson and Sam Leavitt for me. And the more I think about CJ Fite and how good I think he's going to be and how good he was already last year, it's hard not to like agree with you. I don't think that there's a wrong answer, but I am going to roll with X. And there's a couple of different reasons. As of right now, where it stands today, Xavion Alford is the best player on this defense. And not only is he the best player on this defense when it comes to on-field like production and being that good at his position, and what I would still consider a very critical position for Arizona State. I think a lot of people might look over his position and look at somebody who's on the defensive line, right? But or you know, a true corner like a Keith Abney or whatever it might be. But X is also like the leader of this team as well. And I think that this defense being close and this defense being as good as it can be, which we think is top 10, I think it's going to come in equal parts from Xavion Alford's on-field talent, his on-field play. I think he's in contention to be on an All-America team by the end of the season. ESPN had him as the 86th best player in college football. We both think that by the end of the season, he could end up being in the 50s. Like, this is going to be somebody that by the end of the year is going to be like every college football nerd and every college football expert's favorite defensive player.
Yeah, it could be.
Right? On top of that, this guy is the heart of this team. This guy is the soul of this team. This guy is the leader of this team. And I think you blend all of that together, and not that CJ Fite doesn't have elements of that, not that Sam Leavitt doesn't have elements of that, not that almost everybody on this roster doesn't have a semblance of that. But if I have to guess who's going to be giving most of those pregame speeches, it's going to be Xavion Alford.
You think it's going to be X again this year?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be X again this year. I'm interested to see if they have maybe a younger player do it as somebody who will be back next year. They could allow X to do it again. But
that might be your coldest take.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a cold take here. I think there is going to be a sense of like passing the torch onto somebody else that will be here next season. I don't know who necessarily that will be at this point, since there will be a lot of turnover.
Get another year of eligibility?
But and I'm not saying that I don't think Alford will have his moments where he is going to be vocal, but I do think there is going to be a point of like, okay, like you were a part of last year's team that was last year's run. You were last year's vocal leader. Let's have somebody different do it this year. I think that will be the
maybe
case
if you are go 8-4. And there's no, like, you don't need to win every game. If you need to win every game, your leaders speak. Your leaders are the ones that do it.
I'm not saying that he doesn't.
I know. But he has the reins. Like, you don't posture for next year if you have everything to lose.
We'll see. We'll see if it's X or Sam or Jordyn, or if it's somebody kind of yet to be named. Regardless,
Sam Leavitt's speech would be shocking.
It would be something. It would be something for
sure.
Jordyn
Tyson's speech would also be a little shocking.
You also have Xavion Alford as your defensive MVP.
I do. And then when I vote for the NFL MVP, I think of pregame speeches. Whoever gives the best.
Sure.
So that's why every year I've cast my ballot for Jameis Winston.
Should be a 4-time NFL MVP.
Rewind to 2 years ago, Totri, when Xavion Alford committed here, and like we're watching his tape. It's like, oh my God. The potential, the pick against ASU, like the things he can do, and he's gotten better every single game, every single quarter. Like, you can't understate what Xavion Alford, or was that three years ago now? I guess you can't understate what Xavion Alford is going to be able to do in basically just the second year of playing football at Arizona State.
Yeah,
Like,
it is crazy that it's his only second year of
wild.
like actually playing at ASU, because it does feel like he's been here for such a long.
I mean, he's been here for
time.
3 years now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be so fun. The leap he's gonna take, and I think CJ Fite's gonna take just as big, if not a bigger leap, because of how much he's physically grown.
Yeah.
But yeah, the heart and soul, the everything. Like, I think he's gonna just be such a commander of this defense and of like the pace of play. Like, he has gravity, and that's something that you can't like understate.
Yeah. Wes Bezzi says Derek Eusebio is going to be the surprise breakout player. Jordyn Tyson will draw defenders. McLean is huge and will draw defenders, and Derek will be the Wes Welker of this offense.
That'd be so sick.
He looks like the Wes Welker of this offense, the way he runs his routes, dude. It is. I would love to see Derek Eusebio get some actual game time. He will, obviously, against NAU, assuming the Sun Devils take care of business early on in that game. So I'm excited for the fan base to see him, because he is a special player that if he was just like a little bit more, if he had a different build to him, then he 100% would be out there.
I mean, I've been saying all year, this team needs a Wes Welker.
Well, they got him right there. It's Derek Eusebio. M in the chat saying, to once again be different, going with Jordan Crook. I think that's a solid answer. Somebody that I've been pretty set on as being a big part of this team. Wouldn't be shocked if maybe he's your vocal leader going into this season, specifically on the defensive side of the ball. He's in for a big year for sure, but I think so is X, so is CJ, which is why I'm kind of curious that when we get to the team MVP conversation here, I know we started off this whole show talking about the offensive MVP, and it was Jordyn Tyson or Sam Leavitt. We have such great things to say about the defense. Yet, when we look at this team MVP list here, all three of us on offense, Shane and I, are saying it's going to be Leavitt. Erik, you have JT here.
Yeah, listen, we gave our arguments for Sam Leavitt and for Jordyn Tyson at the beginning of the show. I think we could just copy and paste that. You're right that maybe you could look at a defensive player and get in here, but I think these are the two best players on your team. I think if you're like going, okay, who are the top 15 players in the team? Who are the top 20 players in the team? I think there's going to be more defense than offense.
Yeah.
Right? But top two, these are top two. Now, my reasoning for Sam Leavitt being Offensive Player of the Year was because I think he's going to use his legs. I think he's going to get in the end zone a little bit more. And my argument for Jordyn Tyson is kind of what Shane's argument was for Jordyn Tyson Offensive MVP, is I think Jordyn Tyson's going to do a lot of that dirty work, that unspoken dirty work that a lot of star players don't do. Right? Whether it is, the blocking, or whether it is knowing that you're going to be running a route to draw attention, to open up stuff for everybody else. He's going to have an incredible season. He's going to put up lots of yards. He's going to have a top 5 Biletnikoff finish season, in my opinion, possibly even higher if he hits different expectations. But I think that it's all going to be the little stuff that he does as well. And I think overall he will be the most individually impactful player as far as from big plays, big moments, like stepping up when you're needed to do it. And obviously Sam Leavitt goes in conjunction with that, but I'm going to give Jordyn Tyson the team MVP.
Parker says I'm not going to be different here. I'm going to say Sam Leavitt. Yeah, Shane and I also went with Sam Leavitt as our team MVP picks here. I think for me, again, when I went with Jordyn Tyson as my offensive MVP, I think there are going to be moments where Sam Leavitt is going to be forced to simply just give Jordyn Tyson the football. But when we're talking about the most valuable player on this team, it's hard for me to say that it's anybody other than a quarterback who we're talking potentially in the Heisman contention here, the Heisman race, somebody that we think is maybe the best quarterback in this conference, that is loaded with quarterbacks, regardless of the numbers that Jordyn Tyson puts up in 2025, the most valuable player on this team, and this can be the same and will likely be the same for the majority of the Big 12, it will be the quarterback. And Sam Leavitt is at the helm of a team that is currently ranked number 11 in the country. If this team accomplishes what they need to accomplish, Sam Leavitt will get the praise and he'll get all the love. And if they don't, Sam Leavitt will be the first person that people blame in 2025. So I think that comes with being the team MVP.
There's a reason why on Heisman odds you have to go 5-6 people deep to find a non-quarterback. Like, it's the nature of football. They are the most important player on the team, and you look at how much Sam can grow. Like, again, same thing as X. Basically, his first year of college football last year at Arizona State, and basically his first year of college football. the amount of growth he showed, and I don't care what you think about his Peach Bowl effort. Like, I hear so much criticism about that because they're just looking at the stats. Go look at the fourth quarter. Go look at his run to get ASU down to the 2-yard line.
Never quit. He never quit.
No, and that was against one of the best defensive lines, not just in the country, but of probably the last 10 years. I mean, we're going to see a completely different player this year. He didn't have to run a lot last year. He doesn't have to run a lot this year, but they're damn sure going to use him more on the ground. His deep ball was criticized a good amount last year, and for good reason in the first half of the year. It wasn't a question at the end of the year. It's not going to be a question this year. Like, we're going to see a completely different player this year.
Yeah, and I know the fan base is amped for it. We're all amped to see Sam Leavitt again in just 8 short days, or maybe they're 8 long days at this point, because it's going to really, really drag on as we get into next week. But don't worry, we're right here. Live shows just about every single day, getting you ready for the start of this 2025 season that is littered with a bunch of fun matchups. But what is the most important game of the 2025 season for Arizona State? Well, Erik and we agree on one thing. It's the Red Raiders. That is going to be the most important game of the season for the Sun Devils. Shane, you got Iowa State, a rematch of the 2024 Big 12 championship game. Why'd you go with the Cyclones?
You know why? I think by the time, what week is Tech? It's in October, right?
It's Tech is
October 18th or 19th.
So it's like they'll be 6-7 games in.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, Texas Tech's gonna be 4-2. They're not gonna be ranked.
Yeah, you're not a Texas. You're not Texas Tech
I think
guy.
the wheels are gonna fall off the wagon. I just do.
The running back already fell off the wagon.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah. I mean, who's this in the picture?
Is that Morton?
Yeah, Baron Morton.
Yeah.
First of all, horrible name for a quarterback.
It is a horrible name.
Second of all, mid.
It's almost so bad of a name for a quarterback. It's a good name for a quarterback.
Baron Morton?
You honestly, that's
a 40s quarterback name.
Can
Baron Morton, eh?
Go ahead and watch Baron Morton. The stars will be out.
They're throwing tortillas on the field.
5 cent Laffy Taffy. Okay. Can the money they threw in NIL play quarterback? No. Can the defensive line run the ball? No. Like, sure, they're going to be dominant. Sure, they're going to be better, much better on defense. I don't believe in what they've built.
But you're giving us why it's not Texas Tech.
Yes. And so the second part of the question, or the second part of the equation with Iowa State, is much to what I said about Kansas State. Like, I think that's going to be a really good game tomorrow. But I also think that Kansas State is the second best team in this conference. I wouldn't be surprised if Iowa State slots in at the 3 spot. Like what I touched on before, they did not just get to the Big 12 championship because of how much parity was in the Big 12 last year. Sure, that contributed to it, but that also contributed to the fact that Arizona State was in the Big 12 championship. They got there because the program was the foundation to that program is so strong right now, and they also have one of the most exciting up and coming young quarterback. I guess he's not young anymore, but Rocco Becht is somebody that everybody should be excited about.
Yeah.
And you take all of that should not worry you, but that should give you some excitement as an Arizona State fan when you're looking at this matchup because of how competitive it's going to be. And then you add the emotional factor on. Then you add, this team didn't just beat us in the Big 12 championship last year. They embarrassed us in the Big 12 championship last year. Oh, and you're going to Ames.
Yeah, that's the big part for me is you're on the road in that matchup.
By far, I think it's going to be the most difficult matchup because how difficult was it to go to
Not
Lubbock
difficult,
last
just
year?
most important. Yeah. You think it's going to be the most important and most difficult game?
Because I think you look at the schedule, I think you have, if everything were to go perfect this year, knock on wood, everything goes perfect this year, like this, the legs are made of wood, Erik. This team should, in theory, only have 2 games where you look at it and you say, okay, these are 2 teams that could beat us, could beat Arizona State, right? If you're the Sun Devils,
you're saying Iowa State and Texas Tech.
In my opinion, like those are the only teams that should be able to beat you.
I think Baylor before they lost their running back, but I think even with Tech, the interesting thing is I think they'll be better than you think, and at that point in the middle of the season, you're at a point where Arizona State might be undefeated. Right. That might be a game day game if Texas Tech is still good. Let's say they're in the top 20.
Well, look, we can real quick, we can run through what Texas Tech has before they play ASU.
Before you do this, I want to say Texas Tech, there's a reason why they're picked to be so good. They have a very talented roster. Yeah. I get that. That being said, I've given my reasons before. Like
You have.
You just believe in the power of love and friendship, and I understand that.
Not money. But money rules the world here, man. Texas Tech, they open the year in 8 days against AR Pine Bluff.
Oh, crap.
Dude, Arkansas Pine Bluff, beautiful campus.
Well, Texas Tech's at home in that one. That one should be a bludgeoning. Then you got Kent State the week after. Then
the worst team in college football.
The best team in college football.
Then you've got
Golden Flashes.
Oregon State 7 days after that. That one does look like it is at Texas Tech as well. I think Texas Tech opens with 3 straight home games. Then their first Big 12 game of the year. This, in my mind, is the only game that could probably have this team as not undefeated by the time they get to ASU. They're on the road against Utah to open up Big 12 play. That's going to be a difficult game. I also think that's going to be a difficult game for everybody that has to go to Utah this season, including Arizona State. After Utah, though, they got Houston and then Kansas, and then they play Arizona State. So I think there is definitely a world where Texas Tech is undefeated and Arizona State is undefeated going into that game.
For sure. There's also a world where Texas Tech is 5-2.
Yeah,
I guess, yeah, and that's what the beginning of Big 12 play is going to be important for everybody, but maybe the most important for Texas Tech. And I think if it gets to the point where ASU is undefeated and Tech is undefeated, and it's that middle part of the season, it might be a game day game at ASU. That might be your chance to really be like, no, we run this. And I think in Iowa State's too for me. Like it's really a toss-up between the most important game of the season between Iowa State and Texas Tech. But I think Texas Tech is that new blood. We spent lots of money. We're the new players here in the Big 12. We got a new offensive coordinator. Like I really do think that when it comes down to it, if Arizona State beats the brakes off of Texas Tech at home in that game, that is going to be the biggest, okay, this team is for real running the Big 12 again. And it just comes before Iowa State. I think if the dates were flipped, then I would pick Iowa State.
I think that's a big thing,
the real
too.
Big one, because I don't think people will respect Baylor enough unless they win week 1 by week 4.
If Texas Tech is as good as the roster says, without a doubt, this will be the most important game. Without a doubt, it will be the most important game. Unless you lose early. But
it's fair.
Don't think that's going to happen. But the reasoning that I have is I don't think they're going to be as good as as everyone thinks.
I think they're both. I mean, easily this is the 1-2.
Yeah.
But there's also a world where the Big 12 is as crazy as everybody thinks it is, and the people are right this year, and there's just crazy parity. ASU drops too early. Texas Tech drops too early. Everybody's sitting at the table at 3-2, and Utah's the only 5-0 team or something like that.
Well, at that point, the Tech game is really important.
Exactly. Like there are so many scenarios that can make this game important, not important, whatever.
God, I'm ready. I'm so ready for Arizona State football. Look, we've got our biggest blowouts of the year. We got the most up-in-the-air game. We've got our record predictions. We've got bold predictions. All of that and more on the other side of our second break. Look, I came into the office today, and Rubus was looking more handsome than normal, so something had to have been off. But it just looks like he was wearing a brand spanking new branded
It's actually an old. This is one of the first Brandon Bills hats that I ever.
I've never seen you rock the beige one.
You want to hear something sad about that hat? That was one of my favorite hats I've ever had. It is now in the Gulf of Mexico.
No.
Oh, that's where I got this one. Wow. No, this was one of the first ones that I was going through. We were cleaning out our closet yesterday, and during my move, I realized that I put this in a different bin than some of my other hats. And I was
saving it special occasion.
I was like, I gotta dust this off for ye old football season.
Ye old football season. Well, look, it is a hell of a hat, but that is not the only option that they have for you over at Branded Bills. Whether you need snapbacks, truckers, fitteds, beanies, or tees, Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style. Of course, they're partners with ASU, U of A, also a partner with your Phoenix Suns. And when I say your, I'm talking directly to Erik Ruby. Make sure you head to brandedbills.com and use code BBPHNX for 15% off your first order.
We love Arizona State.
We do.
On this show. And we love places that invest in Arizona State. And Mountain America Credit Union, not only a proud sponsor of Arizona State University, but a proud partner, as in they are helping and giving and helping put ASU on the map. Listen, they'll put their money where their mouth is, right? They donate $250 to support university athletics for every field goal made this year. That's a big commitment with Jesus Gomez. They'll be providing $20,000 in scholarships to local student athletes each year. And they're going to sponsor a shoe donation program to award brand new shoes to community members in need. Listen, Mountain America loves Arizona State University. So why not love Mountain America Credit Union? Take your finances to new heights with guidance from MACU, and of course, visit Mountain America Stadium at ASU to experience the legacy. They're dedicated to guiding members and communities forward. They have cards with perks. They have people that will help you. You can learn more at macu.com/ASU. Insured by NCUA. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Loans are on approved credit.
Yeah, Lee Corso says new time. Yeah, so it looks like we will be going on Fridays at noon for the foreseeable future. We'll let you know. Maybe 12:30.
We're still trying to figure some stuff out. Let us know in the chat.
Yeah,
if it works, if you want it earlier, whatever.
Everything else throughout the week though should still be the 1 p.m. start times.
Monday through Wednesday, right?
Yeah, Monday through Wednesday. No shows on Thursdays. But again, we'll let you know on social when we know officially what the times are going to look like. So we've gone through the most important game of the season, but what is going to be the biggest blowout for the Sun Devils here in 2025? And we say this in a good way. We all have a clean sweep here. Arizona State's biggest win of the year is going to be U of A. Any early lines here?
No, we're not doing that.
No early margins?
78.
Not doing that yet.
78, huh?
Not doing that.
78.5.
But we all agree it's easily going to be the biggest win.
Can I share something?
You can share something.
So I found this awesome retro ASU clock at a Goodwill a couple months ago, and despite how many different batteries I put in it, it doesn't work. But I've positioned the hands to now say 707.
Wow,
so it's at that forever.
That is sick.
Yeah.
That is a good one. I love that, guys. Also, make sure you hit the like button.
And if you hear any noises going on, this is a new studio. We are still getting the doors put in our studios. So if you hear any,
if you hear a drill,
you're
not getting this anywhere else, folks.
Yeah.
This is real, raw, and authentic.
You're really not. Also, make sure you become a PHNX diehard.
And don't forget to stop. Or don't run. Don't stop running.
Don't stop
running. Stop. Watch out behind you.
Why would you stop if something's behind you?
I don't know. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, become a diehard.
I'm the stupidest, dumbest guy.
Your fight or flight response is to stop running when something's chasing you.
Become a diehard.
Yeah. You can have me.
Yeah, become a diehard. we dropped some information in there this morning before the start of the show as it relates to some potential starters for the Sun Devils. So that's only in the diehard Discord. Head to gophnx.com.
Big news.
Click the diehard tab, and it's going to tell you everything that you unlock when you become a PHNX diehard, which includes some exclusive information that is just out there for the diehards.
And that'll be all throughout the season.
Yeah.
And plus an exclusive game day experience. We'll give you pictures from up close on the field. We'll bring you all sorts of different stuff. Plus, like at the end of the day, like the exclusive info is fine. You could talk to us, which is like, who cares, right? But the best part is that during the games, it is the best place to actually talk about them. Like social media is one thing, and it's necessary for our job, and you can have some good conversations. You can have a ton of disingenuous ones. Real, actual Sun Devil fans in real time talking about the game, celebrating a win, like suggesting what they want us to talk about on the show. We're asking you questions. We're talking with you during the game. There really is no better place and no better way to experience game day than in the diehard Discord.
It's great.
That's it.
Sharon doubling down here. Game days are elite in the diehard Discord. Look, we are going to move right along to our most up in the air game for Arizona State here in 2025. The biggest game closest to a coin flip, I guess, for each and every one of us. And ironically enough, all three of us have different answers for which game is going to be the most up in the air for the Sun Devils here in 2025. Rubus, let's start with you here. You've got the Cyclones as your most up in the air game.
Shane mentioned this when he talked about Iowa State earlier, but the emotion, right? Like you could talk about Iowa State might be a little bit more disappointing this year. Maybe they've lost some talent. Maybe they're not going to be as good, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, Iowa State got embarrassed last year. And emotions can run extremely high. Emotions can drive things. And I really do think that Iowa State is the most up in the air game because you're on the road against a team that you beat in the championship last year that's well coached and hungry for revenge.
I love it. Absolutely love it. And look, there is a chance that y'all hear some drills going on. We got doors being put on just so Arizona State can kick them down here in 2025. You've got Iowa State. I've got Utah here. as my most up in the air game. I do think playing the Utes in Utah is going to be one hell of a challenge for every team that has to go to Utah here in 2025. I think Devin Dampier is going to be a hell of a player for the Utes, and Kyle Whittingham, of course, you have a new quarterback there. I think it is going to be a challenge on the road, the same that it was for every Pac-12 team when they had to make that trip.
It's a great door.
It is a great door.
I'm loving that door.
I'm glad that it's almost on.
Yeah. The biggest question mark is Devin Dampier.
Yeah, 100%.
I have no idea. You have no idea. And my reasoning for Texas Tech is obvious.
It's obvious. Friendship versus money, huh?
Sometimes money wins.
Tale as old as time.
Chat, what do you think?
Friendship
Feedback?
or money?
Thoughts?
Yeah, let us know. Parker says Colorado. History shows that ASU doesn't do well in cold weather games. See Oregon State in 2014. Yeah, Corvallis was just a tough place to play, though.
Yeah, it was horrible, and it was always gross and wet.
Yeah.
We've never seen a coach freeze the players before, though, and I'm sure Kenny's going to try that.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see how Kenny approaches like previewing some of these games and prepping them. I fully anticipate cowbells through the speakers all week when the Mississippi State game is they're prepping for that. But ultimately, I'm going to stick with Utah. Rubus has Iowa State. Shane, you've got Texas Tech. Let's go ahead. Let's move on straight to our bold predictions for the 2025 season. The door is on, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to let everybody know the door is on. We got it. Yeah, we got it. And the door is... Wow. Look at that.
It works.
Closed door. That's awesome. Wait. Make sure it opens. We're stuck here? That's tragic. Anyway. Okay. Shane, you've got ASU leading the Big 12 in takeaways as your bold prediction.
Yep. This is a team that surprisingly last year, in my opinion, had bad turnover luck. Like in terms of their defense. Yeah. I think they could have had way more takeaways. And it's not the way the ball was bouncing, not dropped interceptions, just turnover luck is the most real thing in football. See the Bengals in their Super Bowl run. What have the Bengals done since then? Zilch. Nothing. Like that was fueled by how many turnovers they had. Again, it's not because of the shape of the football. It's not because of the way it bounces. It's just like randomness. The game is random. There are 11 people on the field on both sides running at full speed. Things are bound to there's bound to be chance everywhere. This team deserved more takeaways than they had last year just because of how talented they are. And guess what? They lost one player and everybody got better. I would be shocked if they're not in the top 4, and I would be surprised if they weren't top 2.
You got to imagine it's going to help that so many of these players are back in this system for a second, some even a third year. I would agree with you that I think the takeaways are going to go up.
Brian Ward, like his entire theory is based on chaos,
chaos and confusion,
chaos and finding the ball.
Oh my God, we should call him Ian Malcolm, the mathematician from Jurassic Park. Chaos theory.
It's just Brian Ward.
Wow. I'm making a graphic of that. Don't request it. I'll make
Shane
it.
Just cooked.
Shane
just cooked.
We'll make sure to request it on a Friday.
That is special. What is Friday? Go ahead and request it right now.
Rubus, kind of going off of what Shane has, you have this defense being top 8 in the country.
You wanted bold.
Yeah, I did want bold.
I'm giving you bold. All but one returning starter. In that non-returning starter position, you have Montana Warren, who's been here for 3 years now at this point, and Kendrick Breedlove, who was an effective college football player before. I believe in Brian Ward calling defenses, and I believe in Brian Ward continuing to get better as a defensive coordinator. I believe this team is deeper on defense. I believe they're going to be better on the defensive line. I think every player that's returned is going to be better than last year. And I also agree with Shane. I think they're going to lead the Big 12 in takeaways. I think they're going to have a nose for the ball. I think that there's a lot of upward trajectory for this team as well. Like, this defense was so suffocating last year. And you look at some of these young guys, like Keith Abney, like a Javen Robinson, even look at a Ghost Rouser who led the team in tackles. And you're like, you can get better. And by God, why would I not believe in each of them individually to get better when that's exactly what this program has proven that it does with players? It works on them individually. It finds their weaknesses. It finds their weak points. CJ Fite, we're talking about maybe being the best defensive player on the team, maybe being a top 100 player in the country. I think Keith Abney at a certain point might be able to break into the top 100 players in the country. I believe Xavion Alford can compete for an All-America team. I think Justin Watley and Keyshawn Elliott and Jordan Crook and Jacob Kingaika are all unsung heroes of this. Elijah O'Neal had massive plays week in and week out. Was extremely important that he got an extra year of eligibility. If Joshua Shanklin plays, you have the most effective JUCO defensive lineman in the country in your rotation. Prince Dorba, who might not even be starting, was widely considered one of, if not your best player on defense going into last year before he got hurt. Tate Romney 2 years ago was one of the most effective players on your defense before going into last season with a broken arm, and he's just going to be a rotation piece. Rodney Bimage is somebody who is knocking on the door and is going to earn some playing time. Then you have Nyland Green as well, who was a blue blood transfer in, who's probably going to be in your 2 deep as well. Like, you literally have the depth, you have the top end talent, you have the coaching, you have the chemistry. There's no reason for this not to be the best defense in the Big 12. There's no reason for them not to suffocate teams on a daily basis. And I do think that, like, well, the Big 12 is going to be tough and competitive. It's not the SEC. It's not the Big 10. You should be able defensively to put up numbers that statistically put you in the top 15 and on the bolder end, a top 10, top 8 team in the country.
Go big or go home, huh, Rubens?
Clip it.
Look, I've got Arizona State being undefeated at home. This would be back-to-back seasons for Arizona State to be undefeated at home. Prior to last year, I want to say it was over a decade that this team had actually won every single game at Mountain America Stadium, then called Sun Devil Stadium. But I do think Arizona State can find a way to do that here in 2025. Your home games are NAU. We think that's a dub. You got Texas State. That should be a dub. You've got TCU. No reason ASU should lose that game. Then your biggest home game of the year in terms of like notoriety is going to be that Texas Tech game, October 18th. After that, then you got Houston, West Virginia, and U of A. A pretty, in theory, safe schedule at home outside of that Texas Tech game.
Mm-hmm.
I think being able to go undefeated at home back-to-back years would continue to push the narrative of the activating the Valley of just like, hey, when we play at home, ASU fans come out, they show up, and we win ball games because of it. I think it would be huge if ASU was able to go back-to-back years undefeated at Mountain America Stadium.
So I just found out that there are some lines available for ASU in the future for some of the games.
They're favored in every game.
No.
They're not?
Nope.
Which game are they not favored in?
Utah. On the road.
People are high on Utah.
I don't think they're going to be favored against that. Well, it totally depends what Iowa State looks like.
Yeah.
But in Ames, it's tough. Guess what the line is for the Texas Tech game, though?
Arizona State, 4.5.
Yeah, I was going to say 4.5.
4.
4.
At Colorado?
Arizona State, 6.5.
We'll go 7.5.
4.5.
4.5. Okay.
On the road. You get 3 points.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Anything else or just those games are out there?
What's
the Utah line?
Utah's 2.5. Utah.
That's just, I mean, I think the beginning of the season is the most important for Utah. Maybe Utah, Texas Tech can float it up in the air together, but Utah had such a bad season last year after being universally regarded as like, hey, this might be the safest pick to win the Big 12 in their first year. This might be Kyle Whittingham's last year. We've been saying that for the last couple of years at this point. They got a new quarterback. They have a top 10 player in the country in the offensive line. Like, if they start off 4-0, 5-0, like that's going to be a team that everybody's going to buy right back in on, and they're going to be the top 20.
You know what game could completely change things also? Kansas week 2 or week 1, I guess, because they play week 0, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Week 1 at Missouri.
If Kansas is good, that throws a wrench into a lot of things.
Well, if they win that game, yeah.
Or I guess it's
that's at Missouri?
That's week 2 at Missouri. Yeah, week 2. No, it's week 1. Yeah, week 1. Kansas at Missouri. They're 7-point dogs.
Yeah,
that would be crazy. If Kansas wins that game, the entire Big 12 is open, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it already is.
There was something you said that I was. Oh, what is the NAU line any different, or is it still at 28.5?
It's gone right now. So
gone right now.
Yeah,
I heard somebody.
Everybody was betting on
NAU injury reports.
I heard somebody said that it now inflated to 31.5.
Wow.
From the 28.5 that it was originally. That I told you guys 2 weeks ago to smash that line at 28.5. I would smash it again at 31.5 if that's what it's at. I think this is going to be a 40+ point win for Arizona State. I just think it's going to be It's going to be legal but nasty.
Yeah. But how many games do they win? We'll tell you right when we get into overtime. If you're watching on TV, the party always continues over at gophnx.com.
The moment we've all been waiting for.
Yes, this is what we've been building up to.
Predictions for the 2025 season. Let's start with the Deli Man, who is not on a bus this year.
Yeah.
He's with us.
I was not on the bus last year.
No, but you're back with us for a full year.
Yes.
In theory.
Well, not really. Because
you're not here for the first game of the year.
Programming note: I will not be here for NAU.
He's actually playing for NAU.
Yeah.
He needed a body.
No, I'm going to
starting tight end
to NAU like during that time. While they're gone, I'm gonna go steal some stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Steal their trees.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I really wanted to pick 9-3, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
You really wanted to say 9-3 here.
That's gross.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was just because I wanted to be different and edgy. But I mean, what have I been saying?
What 3?
But exactly. What have I been saying this entire year? Like,
there's parody. You never know.
But it's not even parody. It's just college football. Like, there is something to be said about ASU winning a bunch of one-score games last year. And I think that's, again, more of a sign of, your coaching staff than it is a sign of luck. But things happen. Remember what I said last week? The football is oblong. Like, it bounces weirdly.
I don't even think that was last week. I think you may have said that yesterday.
I think you might have said that in the show.
Yeah. No, I did say it in the show, but I think it was last week or maybe earlier this week. Who cares? I'm still picking 10-2.
10-2 for Arizona State here.
Because, look, man, like, you said what 3, what 2, what 1? Like, you don't know.
Exactly.
You don't know. Like,
well, no, you could easily go through, I think, each and every one of these.
No, because you can't.
Not each and every one, but I mean, with the quarterbacks in this conference, having an elite quarterback immediately can make an average team like way better. Like Sawyer Robertson, what if he is the second coming in and of himself? He could win that game. It's the first Big 12 game of the year.
Same thing can be said about the following week against Josh Hoover on a Friday night. Spooky things can happen in September.
Aired it out last year. What if Devin Dampier is the answer at Utah?
What if Willie Fritz gets that team to a point where they can contend against Arizona State? What if Willie Fritz's Cougars come out and scoop and score on the first drive of the game? You're down 7-0 at home.
You never know.
You start to get nervous. Things happen. Like,
you never know.
That being said, I still have a lot of faith in this team.
10-2. I mean, back-to-back double-digit win season says a lot. I also have them at 10-2 this year. I couldn't tell you which 2 games that this team loses. But I do think there is a lot of parity within college football, specifically this conference, given the fact that this is an improved quarterback conference in 2025. I think they make some games that maybe you don't think are losable because you do have a much better group of QBs in 2025. But Rubus, you have them as a one-loss team here in 2025.
You guys are weak.
Because one less game, by the way.
Who are they losing to?
One less game.
I was thinking about 12-0. Okay. Like, I had to stop myself from putting 12-0.
Who are they losing to?
It's between Iowa State, Baylor, and Texas Tech. Actually, no, not even. I think it's between Iowa State, Baylor, and Utah. I think they're going to beat Tech at home because they lost last year. They're going to get their lick back. And because
that might be the craziest thing of all.
That he takes
Ruby's
Iowa
predicting
State.
11-1 and saying there's no way they lose to Tech.
I think they beat Tech. I think, okay, it's football, it's sports. Of course, there's a chance. The freaking terrible Suns beat the Dynasty Warriors in a regular season game. Like, of course they could lose. And Sawyer Robertson could be the truth. Josh Hoover could be the truth, right? Baron Morton could be the truth. Texas Tech could overcome not having the power of friendship. Arizona State is just
What if they
better.
are friends, though?
Arizona State is just better.
I did not think of that.
They're just better. And
actually, we're in overtime. Shit, I didn't think of that.
barring like a legitimate, like, again, thing that I don't want to say on this show that stops any team, barring one of those, or barring some serious regression from some of these players that we have spent the last 7+ months talking about being incredible and having faith that they're going to step up and do these incredible things, like be in a Heisman contention or be the #1 wide receiver taken in the draft next year, or be in the second round of the NFL draft with CJ Fite, right? Or Xavion Alford being one of the best at his position in the country and being a top 50 player in the country, or the belief in Kenny that he could be the best coach in the country, whatever it is. I don't care how good everybody else is. This team should be better. This team should be a top 10 team. Y'all call me the hall monitor. Screw y'all.
This team, 10-2. Apparently, I didn't know. We've hit a point now for Arizona State where 10-2.
This team could be
bad.
Could be undefeated in the regular season. They have the talent to do it. They have the horses to do it. They have the coaching to do it. They absolutely could. I'm giving them a loss.
The line between Fanboy. Whoa,
we're gone.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I hit the switcher. The line between Fanboy and Doom and Gloom is 11-2 or 11-1 and 10-2.
No, I just think that, like, yeah, sure, there are things that you can look at that are concerns, right? What's going on at center, right? How does that nickel corner or the nickel corner spot look like? What does that look like? Okay, are there going to be questions? Sure. Are there going to be moments where you sweat? Sure. Is every game going to be a 40-point blowout? No. But I think this team is going to win their close games. I think they're going to dominate the teams that they need to dominate, and I think they're going to be a perennial top 10 team this whole year, and that's what perennial top 10 teams do. And they're not playing Kansas State, who many people believe to be, like the second best team in this conference. They're catching Baylor early, and they still are missing their starting running back. Texas Tech just lost their starting running back. Iowa State lost 2,000-yard wide receivers. I have utmost respect for them, and going into game week, I'm going to say you have to be careful. You have to watch out. You have to give it your best. But that being said, when you break it down position by position, coach by coach, like, this team is just better.
Somebody broke the wind-up on Erik Ruby's wind-up toy, and he just went. I love it. I think Arizona State is going to be really, really good, as we all do. Let us know in the chat what you guys think. A couple compliments in the chat. We appreciate Machiavelli in here as well. Feedback says he thinks we're measured. We're excited, but not delusional.
And Feedback's a U of A fan.
Is he?
Yeah,
U of A or Colorado, one of the...
Well, he's in Colorado. Regardless, what do you think the Buffs guys predicted their record would be this year?
12-0.
Do you know what it was?
No.
Probably 11-1 or 10-2, which...
I would say 9-3 was, because I think that's a little ridiculous.
I didn't think they get 9 wins this year. I didn't think it'd be good this year.
Whoa.
You think Colorado gets 9 wins?
I think they could get 9 wins.
Have you seen Colorado's schedule this year?
I think they could get. I'm not saying they will.
Speaking of schedules and strength of schedule, why does Florida just put themselves in hell every year?
I don't think they put themselves in hell every year. They're just always a below average SEC team, which looks like hell every year. Because you have Mississippi State, you have Georgia, you have LSU, you have Bama, you have South Carolina, you have all these teams. Like,
did you say Mississippi State? You mean Ole Miss?
Yeah, no, I said Ole Miss.
You said Mississippi State.
Did I say Mississippi State or Ole Miss?
Are you okay? No, you said Mississippi State.
Okay. Well, yeah, I meant Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, if you're a back half of the SEC team, your schedule always is going to look like hell because you have all of these other ridiculous teams. Colorado, by the way, for what Rubus says could be a 9-win team, they open up next week on Friday against Georgia Tech. That is going to be a very, very difficult game. Georgia Tech should be in the top 25 in my estimation. Other games that they have, they've got Utah on the road. They've got TCU on the road. Iowa State comes to them. They're at home against BYU. They have ASU late in the year, and they wrap up on the road against Kansas State. There is a real chance that this team is fighting for 6-7 wins based off of what they've got here.
I would say if I had to give Colorado's record prediction, I would say 7. But if we're going to talk about the Big 12 having parity and blah, 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 I think that there's a chance where they can win some of those games that you don't think that they will.
Yeah, that's fine. Machiavelli says, dang, Strawberry Swirl is on a roll. Too many espressos?
No caffeine at all
No
today.
caffeine today. Jeez, guys. Well, let us know all of your answers in the chat. That is going to do it for today's episode of the PHNX Sun Devils show. Make sure you hit that like button. You hit the subscribe button on your way out. If you're running, well, just don't stop running. Keep going, despite what Rubus says. If someone's behind you, run faster.
And if you just got here because you thought we were at 1 today, you can catch the whole thing on replay or on audio. Go for a run, maybe. Yeah. Touch some grass.
Check it out.
And we should be here at noon every Friday before game days.
Yeah, and we have a trending coming out this weekend, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Also, the full Demario Richard interview from Thursday will be up on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that as well. If you enjoyed today's content, give the show a follow at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow the little bean boy here at Erik Ruby. That's Erik with a K.
No, I'm Big Bean Boy.
You can follow the Deli Man, also known as Dr. Legume, at Shane Deef.
Just trying to toe the line of fanboy and doomer as always.
And guys, the next time we see you, Arizona State will officially be on game week. Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy week 0 of college football. We'll see you on Monday. In the meantime, go Devils and peace.
We all silly like the mayor.